Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, and today I want to talk about mermaids. You may have seen a video from a while ago where I talked about 5 packs that I would like to see improved, since a survey last month indicated they may add extra polish or additional development to existing expansion packs and game packs. Island living was one of the easiest picks for that list, and mermaids are one of the aspects that could have used more gameplay, especially in comparison to vampires and spellcasters. I wanted to show off this fan concept by Lexi Gaming for a mermaid skill tree. She says, I spent 5 hours making this in Photoshop for no reason other than wanting to make mermaids more similar to vampires and spellcasters. A girl can dream. Because mermaids were not getting their own game pack, like vampires and spellcasters, I'm not surprised mermaids did not get a skill tree. For some reason, though, they don't even have their own gravestone like the other occults, so the mermaids do feel like they are a bit rushed still, even by the fact that they aren't the main feature of an expansion pack. But if Island Living does get additional development time in the future, then I think this is a really good idea for how to improve mermaids. Even though it might be a little repetitive to do yet another skill tree, I think it is a pretty solid formula for a cult, because I think with mermaids there should be some sort of unlocks that you can get while as a mermaid instead of just having everything at the start. One thing I wish I could convey better with my mermaids is having certain mermaids be stronger than others. Appearance-wise, I guess I could do that to a small extent, but a skill tree can act as a good way to show who's more powerful through rankings, just like with vampires and spellcasters. Even with the limited amount of icons to work with to use her imagination, I think Lexi did a great job showing what potential powers mermaids could have added to them. But that's not all. Simmer Will chimed in, coming up with specific ideas for all those powers. I think there's some really cool ones, like summoning a raging whirlpool to more easily get rid of trash in the water. In addition to that, I think it could be funny if you could prank a sim by getting them stuck in a whirlpool for a few seconds before releasing them. Romantic Sunset also intrigues me because it could potentially involve time manipulation, which isn't something I'd imagine mermaids having, but maybe that could just be something unique for mermaids in The Sims that's different from how mermaids are usually portrayed. Or maybe I'm just overthinking and it just make the sky look like a sunset for a couple of hours without actually changing the time. That's more what I'd imagine actually happening, since time manipulation could potentially be super glitchy. I've experienced as much using the MC Command Center mod to skip forward. I also love the idea to summon a Kraken. That's what I figured that would be when I saw the icon, because I do miss the Kraken from The Sims 3 a little bit. The mermaids in The Sims 4 already do have a couple of different powers that can temporarily pull their victims under the water, but I think having the Kraken actually show up would be a lot more visually cool to watch. Death to Fire is another one that I think could be potentially interesting. It's not something I would use that often personally, since I don't really kill my Sims, but it does sound like a good plot device for a romantic storyline. I also think the rehydration meditation power is worth a mention, because I think that is a clever idea to borrow a little bit from Spa Day and have meditation be able to restore a small amount of hydration. It reminds me a bit of the aliens in The Sims 3, because they have that brain power motive that replaces their energy, and one of the ways that you can restore that brain power is to do a similar sort of thing. It's not like a meditation animation exactly, it is different, but you can have an alien sit down on a chair or a sofa, and then they do a little animation where they do just focus on their mind and restore their brain power that way. So I think it would be cool for mermaids to have something a little bit similar to that in The Sims 4. One more power that I would love for my mermaids to have is the turtle hatchery one, because I don't really get to see turtle hatcheries happen that often in my game. I think I've only seen it once, but I didn't actually see it. I just got the notification that it was happening, and then by the time my Sims were available to go over there, it was already over. So it'd be nice to be able to just summon that at any time, because from what I've seen of it from other people's videos. I think it looks really cute. And it definitely would be nice to have more wildlife-related interactions, and that's basically what all the ones in this branch are for. I also love that Simmer will use the right-hand side for weaknesses, just like what the vampires have. Because sure, mermaids deserve to be powerful, but then I think it's even better, it has more depth if they have weaknesses too, so they're not just straight up overpowered, but there's also some drawbacks if you do have a whole lot of powers. I think it does make sense to have those two at the top be tied into seasons. I think that was one of the things they actually did right with the mermaids in Island Living, is that they do have a few powers that tie into seasons if you happen to own that expansion pack. I think it does make sense for mermaids to have some control over the weather, but then in this case, the weather can also backfire on them. The conservationist one would be nice too, since it does tie into the career that came with that expansion pack. And I was kind of imagining this weakness already a tiny bit when I was doing my Island Living Let's Play, since my mermaid is a conservationist. But I think it would be nice if my Sims could get sad from a lot of water pollution. That does sound kind of weird saying it would be nice if my Sims could be sad, but yeah, I think that would be an interesting drawback to have. The feisty seahorses idea, I think, is pretty cute. That would be funny to just see all these seahorses just annoying my mermaids. That would probably be the first weakness that I would choose if we had one similar to these added to the game. Also, it would be nice if children and toddlers could have visible mermaid fins when they're swimming. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. Lexi also made a similar skill tree for aliens, but I'll let you check that one out for yourselves in the video that she made, showing off both her alien and mermaid skill trees. I'll link it in the video description below, and there's probably going to be a card on screen as well. But yeah, it's so cool seeing these kinds of concepts coming out of the Sims community. They have a lot of thought put into them. I love spreading the word because I think it helps a lot to illustrate constructive criticism for how The Sims 4 can be improved. Just saying that the game sucks doesn't do much of anything. But giving suggestions for how issues can be solved can establish a more positive feedback loop between the players and the developers, and then the developers have a better idea of what the players really want, and cater better to us in the future. So I'm gonna wrap up this video here. Be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!